I want you to be honest with yourself right now. You probably really didn't know your worth when you were with that person, when you were with or in that situation, and you started to diminish yourself. You lost respect for yourself. There's just certain things that you did, and you look back on those times, you look back on those moments, and you're like, man, why was I like that? Why did I act like that? Why did I do that? Why did I talk like that? All right. But now that you have gone through a spiritual awakening, now that you are moving forward, now that you are transforming, now that you are getting better, round of applause, by the way, congratulations. You are really starting to understand your worth. All right. And family, we're going to drop some nuggets. We're going to drop some knowledge. You might have an epiphany. You might have a light bulb go off your head in this video today. This video is just for you. Now, family, most people spend their lives trying to earn what they already possess. Your worth. They're chasing validation, chasing approval, chasing attention, social media likes, and relationships that just completely mirror their insecurities instead of their actual value, right? Someone write that down below. All right. But today, family, all right, I want to give you the truth. All right. A truth that will shift your entire reality. All right. Your worth is not something that you have to prove. Okay. It's something that you already embody. Right. And once you understand who you are, your entire life begins to reorganize itself around that identity. All right. This is so powerful. This is so amazing through your spiritual journey. All right. So you have to pay attention and you have to implement this into your life. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to break this down into 4 sections on how you can rediscover who you truly are. So that way you can reclaim your worth and step into the version that you have been suppressing for far too long, right? There's a reason you had to go through that awakening. There's a reason why you had to deal with that narcissist. There's a reason why you had to go through all these ups and downs, hoops and bounds, and all this trauma in your life, right? But this will absolutely help you move forward so that way you can rediscover who you are meant to become, all right? Now, I want you all to grab your pen and pad or your iPad or your computer or your phone, whatever you're on, and write this down, all right? Because this is going to help you understand how to reclaim your self-worth so that way you can move forward, especially if you have gone through a lot of trauma and just different things in your life, okay? So the first section is why you lost your sense of worth in the first place. But the first thing to remember about that, and the most important thing, is that your worth didn't disappear, all right? So don't think that. It didn't disappear. It just got covered up. And it was covered up by what, Coach Kev? By childhood conditioning, by heartbreak, by rejection, by people who couldn't see your value when they couldn't even see their own to begin with, by environments that taught you to play small, right? Because what? Because your light was too bright, right? Every time you step foot into a room, you intimidated that room. You start believing things like, I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I haven't earned love, or I have no love to earn, right? Like, or I need to prove myself. I need to validate myself in order to feel secure. Family, you don't need any of this. None of that was ever your truth, right? Write that down below. None of this was ever my truth. It was all programming. So your spirit always knew your worth, but your mind just forgot. And you going through a spiritual awakening caused you to awaken to this so that way you could remember who you are, remember why you are worthy and deserving of all those things in your life, right? This is monumental, right? So you probably thought that you lost your self-worth, but I hope the light bulb went off in your head that your worth never disappeared. Okay, it just got covered up by all of those things, the conditioning, the rejection, the love, the environments, the intimidation, all of it just got covered up because you had to be suppressed. They had to suppress you, right? They had to suppress you because they didn't want your light to expand out here in the world, didn't want you to awaken. You are the chosen one of your family. Now, that leads me right into section 2, the spiritual awakening of self-worth, all right? Just like I mentioned, you had an awakening. You are now awakened to the fact that you are remembering who you are and you are remembering your worth. So there's a moment in every chosen one's journey called the divine mirror shift. All right. And I want you to write this down. All right. And that's the moment that you stop seeing yourself through so many broken mirrors, family. All right. Such as people that have abandoned you, people who didn't choose you, people who couldn't love you, people who benefited from your lack of boundaries, right? Not setting those boundaries. We talk about that a lot. People who were threatened by your potential. And instead of all of these things that you started to see yourself through, you started seeing it through the broken mirror, but that's no longer there. All right. Your self-worth becomes an awakening. It's not a mindset. It's not an affirmation. It's a spiritual remembering, right? So you start realizing that you were never unworthy to begin with. All right. You were just in places that couldn't hold you. And this is such a beautiful thing for you, family. All right. So once you start to get this newfound sense of awareness surrounding this, you have this awakening just surrounded of who you are, right? And that's why many of you go into isolation, right? You're no longer dealing with this marriage. You're no longer dealing with this relationship. You're no longer dealing with these family members. You're no longer dealing with that boss. Like, you have just cut all the ties, right? How many of you have been there, right? Drop your comments down below. Let me know. You just said, you know what? I'm going to pick up this big ass pair of scissors and I'm just going to cut the cord to everyone that might be attached to me, or everyone that is trying to drain me, trying to pull me down, trying to tell me who I am. And I know that's not who I am. Like, deep down inside, you know that's not who you are. And you know that you might be losing some self-respect behind that, simply because of the ways that these people benefited off of you. All right. You are no longer there anymore. And this is how you're moving forward. This is how you're getting better. And this is how you're now understanding and awakening to your self-worth. And trust me, this is absolutely monumental for you. Right. This is big, family. This is big, because once you step foot into that new identity, now you really start to look at your life differently. You start to move differently. You start to talk differently. You start to not tolerate so much. You don't allow for people to enter into your inner world and really break your spirit down. It no longer happens. Now, I just talked about how you gain this new level of awareness to this new identity. All right. So let's now talk about the identity shift through this process, family. All right. This is section 3. Make sure to write this down. And that is how to reclaim that self-worth. All right. And this is where your transformation actually happens and where it begins. All right. The first thing is you need to rewrite your identity. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? You probably had so many people tell you that you are a certain person, that you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to go here, you need to live there, you need to date them, you need to marry them, right? It's like you didn't live your own life. So who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? What are your passions? And you need to say out loud, I no longer identify with who I used to be. I identify with who I am becoming. Your identity is going to create standards, family. So you need to narrow this down, right? Stop negotiating your boundaries. Family, if you allow access without requirement, you're teaching other people that you don't require respect. So you have to stop negotiating your boundaries, and be sure to set those boundaries. Stand on your standards, stand your ground, and do not bend. Okay. Now, you also need to release anything that is not aligned with those values. All right. That could be people, habits, conversations, friends, family, environments. Anything that is pulling you down instead of pulling you forward is something that you must release. If it's not aligned with your values and who you are, it's got to go, family. It absolutely has to go. And you have to upgrade the way that you are speaking to yourself. This is so important. Be sure to write this down as well. All right. There is so much power in the tongue. All right. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So your inner voice sets the tone of how others will treat you. If you're always talking down about yourself, if you're always holding your head down and walking down and, oh, I'm never get this, and I'm not good at this, and I suck at this, and my life sucks, and boo-hoo, and you just keep going through all of that, other people are going to start looking at you the exact same way. You are attracting that energy right back to you. You have to change how you are speaking to yourself. This is extremely important. And family, you have to remember that you are chosen. All right. So you know you are chosen. So don't act a certain way just to fit in with other people. All right. You have to act like you are chosen. You have to walk like you are chosen. You have to present yourself that way, not being like arrogant, right? Not arrogant, but aligned. All right. Not being loud and obnoxious, but grounded and strong. Not being desperate, not seeking validation. All right. None of those things, but just being completely whole in who you are. This is going to create that monumental shift in your life to help you become the version that you are always meant to become. You had the awareness. Now you're stepping foot into it. And that leads me right into the last section, entering the reality shift. All right. So once you truly embody your worth, you start attracting differently, right? You start speaking differently. You walk differently. You talk differently, right? You choose differently. Right? You do everything differently because you stop chasing and you start receiving. Your life rises, family, to meet your identity and step into the version that you were always meant to become. Always meant to become. This is who you are. This is what you were supposed to be doing. So this is like your turning point in life, chosen one. All right. This is where things really begin to matter. And when the shift in your reality begins to change. Remember, the way that you feel on the inside, the way that you treat yourself on the inside, the way that you feel about certain things is what your outer reality is going to display back to you. It's like a movie screen, right? And you are the projector. So now you need to be the observer. Observe your projections, observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, observe your actions without judgment. Even though you went through a hard time, even though you went through trauma, you went through pain, you went through setbacks, you went through heartbreak, you went through a lot of different things, but don't beat yourself up over this. Stand back for a minute. Observe what you went through. Observe who you are currently becoming, and then never ever look back, family. All right, there is no looking back, because you are stepping into the best version that you are meant to become, and this is helping you and shaping you and molding you and helping you create the life that you have always wanted to create, man. And it's absolutely beautiful. So you go from thinking that you lost, right, your self-worth, to understanding that it didn't disappear. You never lost it. It was just covered up. To now understanding, how can I step into this new reality of who I am always meant to become? And that is exactly what many of you are doing right now. You're doing it through your YouTube channel. You're doing it through telling stories, through music, through painting, through your artistic abilities and capabilities, through the way that you can communicate and motivate and encourage other people, the way that you can lift up kids, right? Your light is literally shining through the world. You're understanding more of who you are. Now you are, you understand your self-worth, and you don't take no crap from anybody, and you're continuing to move forward, right? So listen, if you're done settling, family, if you're ready to raise your standards, right? If you are ready to just completely stop acting like, like people told you who you needed to be, right? And step into who you are really meant to become. This is your moment right here, right? Your worth has always been there. Just like I said, it's time for you to live like it is and to stay tapped in, right? You're growing every day, and you must continue to keep on keeping on, my family. And I love you to life. And I hope this message resonated with you today. All right. So listen, if it did, be sure to drop some comments, drop some likes below for me. I love you all to life. And if you want to continue to grow, if you want to start a YouTube business and personal brand, if you want to master your beliefs, you want to master your mind, then come on over and check out my private school community. All right. The link is going to be in the description, also in the comments below. And I would love to have you there. All right. Because listen, I'm going through a revamp right now. Got some major changes and great ideas coming. And I need to have you there, chosen one. I need you on my team. All right, just stop sitting on the benches. Come on now, it's time to get in the game. Let's get it. It's time to transform. There's only 1 month left in 2025. All right, that's it. It's 2026. Don't repeat the same thing over and over again. Get in a community, surround yourself with like-minded people, and someone that actually wants to help you, that wants to see you strive, that wants to see you get better every single day, okay? So listen, I love you all to life. Don't forget to turn on your bell notifications for more videos to come, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Peace.